What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Call of Duty's events are a massive problem. They pale in comparison to what their competitors are doing. Right now, Call of Duty has two events coinciding with one another, both of which are focusing on weed paraphernalia. And that's completely fine. But when you compare it to the massive crossover events that are happening on both Fortnite and Destiny with Star Wars, it starts to leave a sour taste in your mouth. It starts to make you feel like Call of Duty is getting the short end of the stick. And for a game that has such a large player base, for a game that generates as much revenue as Call of Duty does, it feels like we're the ones that are suffering as a result. You may like the content that's available in High Art or Blaze of Glory, but let's be real here. Wouldn't it be better if Call of Duty had a collaboration with Star Wars? Wouldn't it be cool if you could get Star Wars-esque content in Call of Duty? That would be great. That'd be a great crossover. But they're not doing it. No, instead those crossovers are reserved for Destiny and Fortnite, competitors of Call of Duty. Which begs the question, why is it that Call of Duty's competitors are the ones that are getting these collaborations, while Call of Duty is peddling drug-oriented content? It's a problem. But I think it's a problem with Call of Duty's event focus. Instead of the collaborations and events being overall takeovers of the game, because if you look at what's going on at Fortnite, and I can't speak to what's happening with Destiny, but they are complete and utter takeovers of the game. People want to play the game modes that are a part of the event, that are a part of the collaboration, where you have Call of Duty, where it's sort of a side quest. Yeah, you can do it if you want to, but in reality, it doesn't really matter. We don't care. And that's a problem. If I'm Star Wars, why would I want to collaborate with Call of Duty when the game modes or maps or anything that you do is secondary to the potential revenue you're going to make? Because Fortnite understands it. They understand that it's a collaboration between Star Wars and Fortnite, that we can both mutually benefit from this. We can create a collaboration that sells a ton of skins and other microtransactions, while also transforming our gameplay to make it Star Wars-esque, which promotes Star Wars in a positive way and promotes Fortnite in a positive way. And then you look at what Call of Duty does. It's not about promoting the IP that they're collaborating with in a positive way. It's a means to make more revenue. That's what they did with Terminator. That's what they did with Squid Game. Like, let's be honest here. Let's call a spade a spade. The Squid Game event in Fortnite, even though I don't play it, was far better than what we had in Call of Duty. Call of Duty just seemed like more revenue versus creating something that was special to the community. And this is why you don't see collaborations of the scale of Star Wars in Call of Duty, because they're going to do it such a disservice. I'd love to see Call of Duty and Star Wars go hand in hand. Maybe I'd be interested in buying an event pass, be interested in buying some skins if that was the case. It'd be cool, right? You get some Stormtrooper skins, maybe a couple hero skins like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. All of it would be awesome. The weapons could be like Han Solo's blaster, or you could have the Stormtrooper weapon, or you could have lightsabers as a melee weapon. It would be great. But outside of that minimal content, it would just be the same old Call of Duty game. They wouldn't push players to this galactic space battle event that they'd be trying to promote. No, they'd allow you to earn the rewards by playing Domination, by playing Team Deathmatch, by playing the same Call of Duty game you've played for years and years and years, not changing up the formula at all. And it's a massive misstep for Call of Duty. It's why they're promoting weed and Fortnite and Destiny are promoting Star Wars. That's why they're falling behind. And yeah, this might just be a one-off. I don't think it is, because I continue to see what the competitors are doing, and they're willing to do these collaborations. They're willing to upend their entire gameplay experience to make it special for the player. And that's the problem. Call of Duty doesn't care about making it special for the player. They want to make it profitable for themselves because they care about them first, and us, I don't know. I wouldn't say they care about the community second. They don't care about the player second. We're probably like 10th on their list of people they care about. And that is the issue. And that's why you look at other games, you look at other franchises, and that's why they're getting cool collaborations. That's why they're getting cool events. Like, it'd be cool to see a Star Wars takeover in Call of Duty. It'll never happen. It'll never happen and be good, because Call of Duty hates the idea of a takeover. They hate the idea of another IP coming in and sucking the soul of Call of Duty away from the engagement-based farming that they're trying to do. They don't want you to not play domination. They don't want you to be taken away from playing Team Deathmatch for 8 hours on end. They don't want that. Because in their minds, they believe that's the best way to engage you for a long period of time. But in reality, what would be better for the community is to have these events that promote something special. So it's long-lasting, it's memorable, and it feels like you're missing out if you're not there. For a franchise that promotes so much FOMO content, you'd think you'd want to create more events that create a special feeling around them instead of just creating rewards that contribute to that feeling. And that's the problem. And that is why Call of Duty is falling behind. Whatever happens with Black Ops 7, I don't think they're going to get a collaboration as big as Star Wars. They should have been one of the franchises that got one this year. But no, it's reserved for Fortnite. And it's not like it's the first time. This isn't special for Fortnite, but they continue to make it a big deal because they care. They know it's going to make them money. They know it's going to retain players. But above all else, they know it's going to create an interesting and unique gameplay experience for their players. And that's why they continue to do it. But for Call of Duty, heaven forbid a unique gameplay experience. Heaven forbid something that makes players play differently than how they've always played. No, we can't have that. That's going to ruin engagement. That's going to affect skill-based matchmaking. Sometimes you need to throw out those preconceived notions and focus on the task at hand. And that's the problem with Call of Duty. That's why they are losing players. That's why people don't have a positive perception of them. This is why they continue to lose to Fortnite. And I know people are going to say, well, they're number one compared to Fortnite on PlayStation and Xbox. Fortnite is one game with Battle Royale and a half-baked 5v5 mode. Whereas Call of Duty is Black Ops 6, MW3, MW2, Warzone, all of the zombies games, all of the campaigns that are a part of those games as well. No wonder they're at number one. They're manipulating the numbers. They're manipulating everything to make you feel bad for them, to make it feel like they're doing better than they are, when in reality, they're not doing a good enough job. We should be holding them accountable. We should be asking for better. Why isn't that we're not getting galactic space battles in Call of Duty? Probably because that's not what it's built for, but either way, it'd be kind of cool to get some sort of Star Wars event where you've got the Rebels versus the Empire, the First Order versus the Resistance, or the Republic versus the Trade Federation. Like, come on. There is so much potential there, and yet we know that Call of Duty would mishandle it. We know that they'd fail, and that would make us pissed off. So maybe that's why Call of Duty won't go down that route, because they know that they wouldn't do a good enough job. They know that they'd fail this community. So when I look at the events that Call of Duty has, I just get disappointed. Because instead of trying to do anything cool or unique, they're peddling weed. They're peddling marijuana. How cool and unique is that? It's like they're a bunch of 14-year-olds that ran a company and decided this was the best way to make money. What an utter disappointment. What an utter disgrace. But that's it for my thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Maybe let me know a collaboration you'd like to see in Call of Duty. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. But that's enough from me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.